that may give Caitlin Clark credit for the explosion of business, ratings, revenue, attendance.
How you're treated, whether it's fan attendance. Women's college basketball has always been at the top echelon. And so now we were always waiting on that group that carried over the women's college basketball fan.
In the next few minutes, we're going to break down the most explosive WNBA controversy of the year. We'll show you the exact comments the Atlanta Dream owner made about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. But that's not all. We'll dive into the numbers that prove Clark's impact, reveal how the WNBA is responding, and show you what other players and fans are saying. By the end, you'll have all the facts to decide if there's really racial bias in the league. Do you recall how WNBA games were in the past? Not exactly full houses, I agree. Now though, as if a switch had been flipped. Imagine stadia that are so packed that people are shoving one another for tickets. When Clark takes the court, that is what occurs. It's reality, not just hype. It's not just about butts and seats either. Like 4th of July fireworks, TV ratings are exploding. The executives' jaws are dropping at the record-breaking data we're discussing. In addition to playing basketball, Clark is entertaining audiences with her captivating performance. This is where things start to get crazy, though. Some WNBA executives are acting as though the Clark effect doesn't exist. Do you think that's possible? It seems as though they are watching a separate league. Sold-out stadia and extremely high ratings. How can you ignore them? Let's now discuss the remarks made by the owner of the Atlanta Dream. He attempted to categorize Clark and Angel Reese as being similar to one other in terms of influence. But wait.
And seeing the amount of new fans that we have this year, I think that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, they will have forever changed. You know, they're that crossover group.
The statistics paint a very different picture. At a Sunday brunch, Clark's games are selling out more quickly than hotcakes. Reese? Not at all. And that's just the harsh reality. It's not a jab against Reese. Would you like to hear something even more bizarre? In fact, the Dream relocated its games to a larger venue after Clark visited the area. For Reese or any other rookie, did they do that? Not at all.
By the way, they moved games when they played in Atlanta for Caitlin Clark and for the attendance there.
Clark has the ability to affect the game that drastically. She's forcing teams to reconsider their entire setup, not simply filling seats. It seems as though Clark pressed the turbo button and entered the league.
No other rookie moved the needle in the way that Caitlin Clark did, including Angel Reese.
Everything is growing in size, speed, and visibility. Nevertheless, some people are attempting to act as though nothing has changed. But really, when was the last time you seen a rookie make such a big impact? But wait. Why are some WNBA executives acting as though they're wearing sunglasses when Clark is blazing up the league like a supernova? It's time to remove the curtains and confront the painful question. Is this backlash more complex than it first appears? Let's discuss a topic that has been making supporters quite angry. Why are some WNBA players attempting to act as though Clark isn't altering the rules? They seem hesitant to acknowledge that one player is having such a significant impact. The problem is that people other than fans are taking notice. Commentators are also baffled, unsure of what is actually happening.
I think that this draft class led by Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, there's a real demand, there's a real following.
Know what's crazy? Some people are using terms like racial bias. But for a moment, let's be honest. What would we be talking about if Clark were a different race? You'd never hear another player's name get brought up if Caitlin was black, one fan wrote.
That may give Caitlin Clark credit for the explosion of business, ratings, revenue, attendance.
Isn't that intense? They seem to be implying that Clark's race is the sole reason why people are attempting to minimize her influence. That's absurd. The problem is that this has nothing to do with race. It has to do with influence and talent. And Clark has plenty of both. People, the numbers don't lie. Sky-high TV ratings and sold-out stadia are real. That's a true impact. Are you curious about what's truly crazy? Some are attempting to lump Angel Reese and Clark together. However, the data just does not support that. A supporter described it as so annoying the way they try to implement this narrative that Angel has had the same level of impact in the league as Caitlin. And what do you know? They're correct. It's not meant as a slight to Reese. She is undoubtedly gifted. But what about the effect? It's far from it.
How you're treated, whether it's fan attendance. Women's college basketball has always been at the top echelon. And so now we were always waiting on that group that carried over the women's college basketball fan.
I have a question for you. Wouldn't Reese's games have the same insane TV ratings and attendance figures if she had the same influence as Clark? However, we don't. And they are facts. Why then are some WNBA executives acting as though nothing has changed? They appear to be living in an alternate reality. A single insider said, "They're gaslighting you, they're blatantly lying to your face to keep a narrative going, and they're hurting their own league doing it." Do you think that's possible? They seem more interested in sticking to their narrative than in embracing the excitement that Clark is adding to the game.
I haven't mentioned the name Caitlin Clark yet. So how much from ownership? Was there a Caitlin Clark effect? Was it truly real? Bottom line?
The whole thing is just strange. Some people are attempting to act as though nothing is happening, despite the fact that a player is drawing more attention to the sport than ever before. They seem to be afraid of change or something. However, whether they like it or not, the fact is that Clark is altering the game. And admirers? They refuse to believe the bullshit. They recognize the true situation. Okay, let's finish this. What's crazy, do you? Despite having a superstar on its hands, the WNBA is behaving as though it doesn't matter. Whether some choose to acknowledge it or not, Caitlin Clark is altering the game. She's creating highlight reels every night, packing arenas, and dominating TV ratings.
Caitlin Clark was black. You never hear another player's name get brought up.
However, some people are attempting to deny the Clark effect rather than fully embracing it. That's crazy. Consider it. When was the last time a rookie entered the game and caused such a stir? In addition to playing basketball, Clark is entertaining audiences with her captivating performance. What about the WNBA? Acting as though it's just another workday, they're sitting on a gold mine. What's even more bizarre? According to experts, if the WNBA hopes to develop, it must welcome up-and-coming talent like Clark. However, some influential people are too busy attempting to minimize her influence. They seem to be afraid of success or something. What are your thoughts? Does the WNBA's failure to follow Caitlin Clark's lead represent a grave error? Because it appears to me that they are missing out on something significant.